afternoon. Welcome. In this video, I'll be reading to you about lesson number 10, multi-level marketing laws and political attitudes. This is a success course written by Jimmy Phipps. This segment is designed to shed some light on the real multi-level marketing industry, as well as separate myth from fact concerning multi-level marketing laws. First of all, one must realize that laws are made in order to regulate people, business, or activities of organizations which demand change in the status quo of the establishment. Most people are of the opinion that our government's desire is to protect us from all harmful outside influences, corruption, and invasion of our rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. There have been many events over the past couple of years which have proven this type of thinking to be much more of a pipe dream than of fact or reality. When people look through a pipe, for example, they are able to see only the structured realities of narrow perspectives created by looking in one direction with one eye closed. Government regulators generally go through a training process which demands they give up the right to think for themselves, gives them the opinion they know everything about everybody's business, and also the opinion they have been given the right to stick their noses into everyone's business, regardless of how much they actually know about that particular business. I have watched the development of the multi-level marketing industry over the last 15 years. Now, I bought this in 1990, perhaps, even earlier, 1980. 87, 88, 89, 1980. All right. And right now it's 2016. I have watched the development of the multi-level marketing industry over the last 15 years. I remember in high school, one of my teachers signing up in Amway. Even then, there were people who made fun of the educated teacher who was forced to supplement his income by becoming a salesman, of all things. Salesman. It was as if people had the opinion he had stooped to his lowest position in life for wanting to share something he thought was great with other folks. Unfortunately, people are influenced more by the negative attitudes of others concerning self-improvement than any other activity in life. This is due to the fact that the majority of the population resists change of any kind. Therefore, any attempt to change is rocking the boat, even if you are on a sinking ship doomed to destruction. Think about the number of people you come in contact with at work and other places who may actually brag about going out and getting stoned or drunk. There was a time when people would even try to drink each other under the table in order to prove their manhood or to fit into the crowd. Then think, if you will, about the attitude of the same group of individuals towards the nice, quiet, non-threatening individual who was more content with reading, writing, studying, and taking self-improvement classes. These same macho people oftentimes must prove their manhood by intimidating those who strive toward excellence over mediocrity. I like studying. That's what I'm doing now, and that's what I did back then. Political attitudes toward multi-level marketing are a prime example of the type of thinking discussed above. Politicians generally think that average people do not have sense enough to make their own decisions about business matters, spending money, and running their own lives, so they do their best to intimidate the public with fear, doubt, confusion, misleading innuendos, allegations of wrongdoings, and out-and-out lies to keep the public in line and broke. By doing so, it protects those in power, so to speak, from being kicked out of their little closed-knit clubs. As far as protecting the public is concerned, this individuals care little about doing anything except getting re-elected, avoiding controversy, and retiring with a nice government paycheck. In nearly every case where government has tried to regulate an industry, the industry has become non-productive, inefficient, and costly to the tax-paying public. Private enterprise run by the average person has proven more productive, efficient, and cost-effective than any government-run business. Salespeople have always earned larger paychecks than those with salaried jobs. Multi-level marketing has given more salary-type individuals the opportunity to break out of the rut of a dead-end job by providing supplemental income to those who are willing to spend a few hours per week on self-improvement. One would not think that in America there has been a war waged against many who have promoted change and self-improvement over the past 30 years. This war is a well-financed plan paid for by tax dollars from the public and orchestrated by power-hungry, corrupt regulators who think nothing of robbing the American citizens of their self-esteem, desire, freedom of expression, free speech, free press, and their livelihoods by creating unjust, unconstitutional restrictions on personal activities of those involved in sales and the multi-level marketing industry. A prime example of this type of activity by the government is the landmark case of Amway versus the government. Another case involves these tactics in Costco Cosmetics versus the government. Costco, K-O-S-C-O-T, Cosmetics. In the Amway case, many decisions were made which protected the people's rights. If it had not been for that one case, the multi-level marketing industry would not even exist today. Thank God for all those who are willing to fight to preserve the free enterprise system and private business ventures. Details of certain illegal abuses of process by regulators towards multi-level marketing companies over the past 20 years will be discussed in future segments. This segment simply deals with attitudes toward the industry in general. One must realize that laws concerning any matters are simply a guideline for people. Laws must also be changed to conform to changing attitudes and change with the development of machines and communication devices such as the telephone, computer, and now the fax machine. Trying to over-regulate modern industry with out-of-date laws makes as much sense as telling a farmer he can only have one mule to pull the plow even though he has purchased an extra 50 acres to plant seeds for a bountiful crop. When laws are not challenged, they are not changed. As this takes effort, we all know that effort seems to be a four-letter word when we try to get government to do anything. Look at the civil rights movement as an example. Nothing would have ever changed in our society had it not been for thousands of people banding together who had come to a mutual agreement that current laws were wrong and designed to rob a man of his human dignity. Also, the women's movement for fair treatment in the workplace caused many changes in our business world in favor of fair pay for those who are competent to hold similar or identical jobs as men. Due to the fact that this is a business course, we tend to feel it's time in America for all people to have equal opportunity to participate in a field of endeavor which provides adequate income for the individual based upon his or her desire for success and level of ambition, and to eliminate unjust, discriminatory laws which interfere with personal choice. If the business world is to be subject to caveman attitudes and Gestapo practices from our regulators, the least we can do as business people is to demand that we are given adequate defense to protect our rights against those who would rob us of them, and relief through the courts against those who would abuse them. In any other area of our lives, we would expect fair treatment and justice. Our business lives are an intricate part of survival in our modern society. Is it so absurd for one to expect the same kind of concern for our business rights as for our personal liberties? Multi-level marketing has become more and more accepted by the educated public as a legitimate means to build a business with the cooperation of many individuals working toward a mutually agreed upon plan of achievement. Success is defined in the dictionary as being the progressive realization of any worthwhile goal or plan. Many uneducated or misinformed people have been led to believe there are built-in characteristics of the multi-level marketing principles which guaranteed failure. Some even feel that any concentrated plan for success somehow becomes a scheme to defraud the public. Any business manager will tell you it's the lack of planning that causes failure, as well as lack of action to follow through with a viable plan. The consuming public has been misled much too long by regulators who cast a negative image on any new business venture which has the potential to create wealth for the people involved. On the other hand, you have those who expect the government to take care of them and provide them with an income for nothing through tax-supported programs. If I have a choice of the two, I prefer to choose a program which gives me the opportunity to better myself, be paid for my efforts as my ambition dictates, and allow me to retain my dignity and self-respect, rather than those programs offered by the government which stifle creativity, rob one of ambition, and place unjust burdens on the tax-paying public, who are forced to pay for those programs whether they choose to or not. At least when one joins and pays for products or services offered by a company, the consumer is given the choice to buy. Those who choose to buy should be thankful for that right, and at the same time to remember they too must be willing to pay the price. As American people, we have been given a heritage from our ancestors to be pioneers of new and better ways of life. This calls for us to set an example for other countries and people to imitate. In the business world, America has been forced to take a back seat in the auto industry and computer and electronics industries. Could it be that increased political interference in the auto industry placed automakers in a financial position which made it impossible to compete with less expensive Japanese labor? Or is it because American workers lost the desire to become the best? As a businessman, I realized the importance of a positive mental attitude within the workplace. Business leaders as well as government leaders must learn that the people who make the products, elect the government leaders, and provide the revenue that keeps business and government afloat must be recognized as an intricate part of a productive economy within this nation. Therefore, it is essential for the people to be provided for within the workforce, as well as to be able to have confidence in their companies and government to ensure financial security when they reach retirement age. Too many have been left holding the proverbial empty bag at retirement due to the mismanagement of tax dollars and greedy industrial giants who have bled the workers dry and then abandoned them by merging, leveraged buyouts, and government takeovers, such as with the savings and loan industry. I find it rather amusing that multi-level marketing has been subjected to so many negative attitudes for over 25 years, when it is the purest example of the free enterprise system known to mankind. I also find it refreshing to find a whole new generation of educated, ambitious, inquisitive, and hard-working people with the entrepreneurial spirit who are sick and tired of being used and abused by government and industry, disgusted with the status quo, and eager to tell government and big business to either lead, follow, or get out of the way, because people in America will prevail when the going gets tough. Multi-level marketing to me means making life meaningful. Some like the definition of making lots of money. Regardless of the definition, multi-level marketing is here to stay. I feel it is just a renewing of the pioneering spirit our ancestors had when they crossed the ocean, searching for new land, new ways to provide for their families, and that all-important freedom to become productive and essential to mankind. You, me, and the law. This summary of this subject expresses my opinion toward any attorney general, judge, or other ignorant political person who would question my program or the method by which I have chosen to sell my educational material. I cannot and will not attempt to make a decision for another individual concerning any subject. Over the years, I have found that there is one common thread that weaves dreams together to form a successful pattern in all areas of life: determination and commitment. That is the thread: determination and commitment. There will be many folks who purchase this program and never do anything with it. This makes me feel sad.
You said you'd help me.
All right, let me finish this. I got this here, and then I'll be right there. Thank you, sir. This makes me feel sad, and is exactly why the program is designed to give the student the opportunity and vehicle to change their life without giving him an excuse to blame me for his or her failure. When my friend Glenn W. Turner was building his company in the late 1960s and early 1970s, our country was being run by government officials so corrupt that they should have all been run out of office. President Nixon should have been impeached. Much of the governments of that era, people, still remain in various government positions today. We all know we have problems in this country, but too few have the guts to do anything about it. My friend tried to inspire people to do something with their lives and was doing a great job. Yet he was run out of the business by corrupt politicians accusing him of taking $4,000 to $5,000 from poor folks who did not have the mental capacity to pour water out of a boot if the instructions were written on the heel. I know that ignorance is the major problem in this country, but I will not subject myself or other ambitious people who choose to improve their lives to the same kind of negative influences, those within the government positions or those who are infected with not only gross ignorance, but with negativity and jealousy as well. $79 for my program material is a long way from $4,000 or $5,000 for a Dare to Be Great course. I will never demean the value of that course, as it changed my life as it did hundreds of thousands of others. When it comes to judging my program and its value, I leave that decision to those who purchase it. I know what those who purchase it and share my concerns and opinions feel, as I have hundreds of testimonial letters in my files. On the other hand, as for what some bully or other person thinks, quite frankly, my dear, I do not care. I'm going to sell my material until hell freezes over. The purchase of this course is a direct sale, with commissions paid to one salesperson. It is not a multi-level marketing program or an illegal pyramid. You can tell anyone you want to about our program. God bless you, James Phipps. Here's a quote. If you ever expect to become successful in life, you must first decide what you believe in. Then you must stand up for what you believe, come rain or shine, hell or high water. A person who never figures out what is important enough in life to stand up for will surely fall for anything and everything. Remember, the Constitution was written to protect you from ignorant people in politics who want to rob you of your right to think. All right, so what I recommend now is that you go read the Constitution of the United States, plus the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. One thing we could do is make a board game so that people can memorize the Constitution and the Declaration of Human Rights. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Another technique I've discovered is that this gentleman, Mr. Jimmy Phipps, used to sell the course for $79 plus a $100 commission to the salesman, so $179 total. that's fine. But another way of doing business that I've just heard about is that you can have an ebook and you sell it, and you, at the same time you also offer it for free. It is amazing, but some people will buy that ebook even though they could have it for free. A gentleman that was studying to pass the architectural test, to become an architect, he wrote his notes and made them free online, and then someone told him that he should offer them for sale at the same time. And so he decided to do it, and he was successful at doing it. It was just amazing. People will be so grateful, especially after they pass that test to be an architect, that they want to buy the notes that you wrote so that you could pass that test. They want to give you something. So that was cute. So I'll be doing the same. I'll be one day writing my own course, and I'll give credit where credit is due. I'll be very polite in my course. In the next lesson, lesson 11, we will read about productive mailing practices. God bless you and those that surround you. Go do a good deed. Go help somebody by cutting their grass. Or go listen to them.